I used to think I was stuck in life, like something outside me was holding me back. But the truth is, I wasn't stuck. I was repeating patterns I didn't know how to see yet. And once I started noticing them, my whole mindset started shifting. So let me walk you through it. One truth at a time. The exact mindset that changed my life. And I need you to really sit with this one. Stop waiting to feel ready. Start anyway, because most people don't feel ready for anything that actually changes their life. I had to learn that I was included in that. I kept waiting for this perfect emotional state, like confidence would just arrive one day and then I would begin. But that day never came. What actually changed my life was starting while I was unsure, starting while I was still doubting myself, and realizing later that readiness is not something you feel first. It's something you build after you start. And connected to that realization is this. You are not stuck. You are repeating patterns. And this one was hard to admit because it meant my life wasn't happening to me. I was participating in it. Same choices, same reactions, same emotional cycles, same types of situations showing up again and again. And once I could finally see the pattern clearly, it stopped feeling like confusion. It started feeling like responsibility. Because anything I can repeat, I can also change. And when I sat with that for a while, I started noticing something else. Your life is shaped more by habits than emotions. Because emotions will convince you of so many things in the moment. One day you feel motivated, the next day you don't feel anything at all. But my habits were always the real evidence of where my life was going. Not how I felt. What I consistently did when nobody was watching. That's what was building my life quietly in the background. And that's where discipline started to make sense differently for me. Discipline is self-love, not punishment. I used to think discipline was me forcing myself, being strict, being harsh. But now I see it as protection. It's me choosing the version of me I haven't become yet, over the version of me that only wants comfort right now. It's me saying, I care about you too much to keep letting you stay in the same place. And from there, another mindset shift followed naturally. You will not find yourself. You will build yourself. Because I used to think there was a finished version of me somewhere that I just needed to discover. But nothing was waiting. I wasn't found. I was built. Through decisions I didn't feel ready for. Through consistency I had to force at first. Through becoming someone slowly, instead of waiting to uncover her suddenly. And once I understood that, I stopped giving comparison so much power. Comparison is a silent life stealer. Because it doesn't feel harmful at first. It feels like awareness. But slowly, it starts rewriting your timeline. You begin to feel behind in a life you didn't even design for yourself. And I had to learn that comparison will always make your life feel smaller than it actually is. Because it removes context and only shows highlights. And in the middle of all that noise, I learned something softer but stronger. Peace is better than proving a point. Because I used to stay too long in conversations just trying to be understood. Trying to explain myself until someone finally saw my heart. But I learned that not every situation deserves your energy. Sometimes choosing peace means walking away from being right, just so you don't lose yourself in the process. And that same pattern showed up in my decisions too. Not every opportunity is meant for you. I used to say yes out of fear. Fear of missing out. Fear of disappointing people. Fear of slowing down. But I had to realize that not every open door is aligned with me. Some things are distractions that simply look like opportunity, and if you're not careful, they drain your direction. And even my environment taught me something important. Your environment matters more than your motivation. Because I used to blame myself for not feeling motivated. But sometimes it wasn't me. It was what I was surrounded by. The energy, the conversations, the pressure, the emotional weight. And I realized you can't out-discipline a draining environment forever. Eventually it will win. And this one changed how I see comfort completely. Comfort is expensive. It feels soft in the moment, like rest, like safety. But later you realize what it took from you. Time, growth, confidence, opportunities you kept postponing. And I started seeing comfort differently, not as rest, but as something that quietly collects a cost. And I stopped waiting for perfect clarity too. You don't need a perfect plan, you need consistency. Because I used to delay everything, waiting for full understanding. But clarity rarely comes first. Action comes first. And consistency slowly builds clarity. I didn't need the full picture. I just needed to stay in motion. And even my past started feeling different after that. Your past does not disqualify your future. But I also learned something balanced here. Your past doesn't stop you, but your current choices still matter. You can't change where you're coming from, but you can affect where you're going. And that truth keeps you honest without keeping you stuck. And I had to stop romanticizing restarts. Stop restarting your life. Refine it. Because I used to love starting over. New plans, new identity, new motivation. But I was exhausting myself. Real change wasn't in restarting. It was in refining what already exists and sticking with it long enough to see results. And in all of this, I learned something about decisions. You are allowed to change your mind, but not stay stuck in indecision. Because growth will require choices, even imperfect ones. And I learned that constantly delaying decisions is also a decision, just one that keeps you stuck in the same place. And finally, what you tolerate becomes your standard. In friendships, relationships, even how you treat yourself. I had to really sit with that because I realized I wasn't just experiencing things, I was teaching myself what to accept. And once you see that clearly, you stop moving casually with your standards. And maybe that's the real mindset shift. Not everything changes at once. But the moment you start seeing your life as patterns instead of confusion, you stop feeling stuck and you start realizing you've always had more influence than you thought. So my darlings, tell me, which part felt like it was talking directly to you? Come meet me in the comments. I genuinely love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share this with another girl who might need it, and subscribe so you don't miss our next chat.